You know what nobody tells you at the garden center? Some of the plants on those shelves right now will take over your entire garden, and I don't mean they'll spread a little. I mean you will spend years trying to get rid of them. One plant on today's list has been destroying gardens for over 2,000 years. The Romans brought it to Britain, and gardeners are still fighting it. And number 3 is sold as a romantic flowering vine. What they don't mention is that it rips pergolas apart and tears gutters off houses. Stick around because this list might save you years of frustration and thousands in damage. Today we're counting down 10 plants that will destroy your garden. And the worst part is, you'll probably buy at least one of them on purpose. Before we get into it, if you're into gardening and avoiding expensive mistakes, hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week. Alright, let's go. Number 10. Mint. The gateway disaster. If you have ever grown mint, you already know where this is going. You buy one small pot from the nursery, plant it near your kitchen door, and for a few months, it is lovely. Fresh mint in your iced tea, a sprig for your cocktails. Life is good. Then the following spring arrives, and mint is in your flower bed. It is coming up between your paving stones. It has appeared in the raised bed 6 feet away, where you grow your tomatoes. One plant became 200, and you did not plant any of them. Mint spreads through underground stolons that travel a meter or more in a single season, popping up new shoots the whole way. And every fragment of root you leave behind when pulling it out, even something the size of your fingernail, becomes a brand new plant. The standard advice is containers, and that works, but only if the pot never touches soil and no runner ever escapes a drainage hole. One escaped root, and you are back to square one. Mint is number 10 because compared to what is coming, it is manageable. But it teaches every gardener the same lesson. Some plants do not stay where you put them. Number 9. Lemon balm. Mint's sneakier cousin. Lemon balm sounds harmless. It smells like lemons and makes a nice tea. But it has a trick mint does not. On top of spreading through runners, it produces thousands of seeds per plant every season. Those seeds germinate in sun, in shade, in poor soil, in gravel. Containers do not fully stop them. You can trap the roots, but the seeds blow everywhere. A gardener in Oregon pulled over 400 lemon balm seedlings from a single raised bed in one afternoon. She had planted one lemon balm the year before in a pot on a table next to the bed. The seeds just fell over the edge. If you want lemon balm for tea, buy it dried. Number 8. Horseradish. The root that won't quit. The story always goes the same way. You plant one root for homemade sauce. The sauce is better than anything from a jar. 2 years later, horseradish owns half your vegetable garden. The root system goes well over half a meter deep. When you dig it out, you snap roots and leave fragments. Every fragment regenerates. And if you try rototilling it out, that is genuinely the worst move. The tiller chops the roots into dozens of pieces and spreads them through the entire bed. You just planted 50 horseradish where there was one. Congratulations. Grow it in an isolated container with solid walls. Treat it like a prisoner, not a garden plant. Number 7. Jerusalem artichoke. The fartichoke. Helianthus tuberosus is a sunflower relative with golden yellow blooms on 3-meter-tall stems. The tubers taste interesting, and chefs love them. But at harvest time, you will miss some. Guaranteed. Every missed piece, even something the size of a grape, becomes a full tower the following year. Within 2 seasons, your sunchoke patch is a sunchoke forest that shades out everything nearby. And then there is the digestive situation. Sunchokes are loaded with inulin, a carbohydrate your body cannot fully break down. Eat more than a small serving and the results are spectacular. There are genuinely funny accounts online of dinner parties ruined by a large sunchoke gratin. The evening did not end well for anyone. A plant you cannot remove, that grows taller than you and gives you catastrophic gas. The full package. Number 6. Comfrey, the permaculture trap. If you have been in permaculture forums, you have heard comfrey described like the greatest plant ever created. Dynamic accumulator, amazing compost tea, bees love it. Planted everywhere, they say. I need to be honest, if you plant common comfrey in the wrong spot, you will regret it. The taproot goes 2 meters straight down, deeper than you can dig with hand tools, and you will not realize that until you are already trying. Any fragment that breaks off regenerates completely. There is a sterile variety called Bocking 14 that is much easier to manage, but the common type that nurseries actually sell will self-seed on top of spreading from root fragments. There are forum posts from gardeners who inherited comfrey from previous owners and have spent over a decade trying to eradicate it for one plant someone else put in the ground. If you are getting value from this, hit subscribe. I cover gardening mistakes and plant care every week. All right, let us keep going, because now we are getting into structural damage. Number 5. Trumpet vine, the hummingbird trap. Bright orange trumpet-shaped flowers that hummingbirds love. You see it on a garden blog and think, that is exactly what my garden needs. Give it 3 years, then check your fence. Trumpet vine sends underground runners 6 meters or more from the parent plant. Shoots pop up in your lawn, your neighbor's yard, flower beds across the property. Each one, if you do not get every scrap of root, becomes a new plant sending out its own runners. But the real problem is how it climbs. Aerial rootlets grip surfaces hard enough to dig into wood grain, embed in paint, and push into mortar joints. Pull the vine off a wall and it takes the paint with it. On wooden structures, you are looking at sanding or replacing boards, and this sounds made up, but is not. Homeowners in the southeastern United States have documented trumpet vine shoots coming up through cracks in basement floors and between floorboards in older houses. The roots found a gap and grew toward the light, inside the house. Want hummingbirds? Plant bee balm instead. Your house stays intact. Number 4. English ivy, the wall breaker. Hedera helix is one of the biggest lies in the nursery trade. It is marketed as elegant evergreen ground cover. The plant tag shows old English manor houses with ivy-covered walls, looking stately and timeless. Here is what actually happens. Ivy's aerial rootlets grow into the mortar joints between bricks. They expand. The mortar cracks. Water gets into the cracks and freezes in winter, widening them further. Over years, the ivy physically dismantles your wall from the inside out. Removing established ivy from brickwork almost always pulls chunks of mortar with it, and sometimes the bricks themselves. When it climbs trees, it forms a dense evergreen blanket that blocks all sunlight from reaching the tree's own leaves. The tree weakens year after year until it dies, often falling in a storm because the root system has decayed while the heavy ivy canopy catches all the wind. On the ground, nothing survives underneath established ivy. Nothing. The dense cover also creates ideal rat habitat. Several states in the United States classify English ivy as invasive. You can still buy it at nearly every garden center in the country. Number 3. Wisteria, the romantic wrecking ball. Nothing in gardening is more seductive than wisteria in full bloom. Those cascading purple flower clusters hang from a pergola in spring sunlight. It is on every garden magazine cover. Every year, thousands of people plant wisteria to make that image a reality. Here is what the magazine does not show. Wisteria is structurally a tree pretending to be a vine. The trunk thickens every year until it is as thick as a man's arm, generating enormous crushing force on whatever it climbs. It has been documented ripping entire pergolas out of the ground, not cracking a beam, collapsing the whole structure, gutters torn off houses, downpipes crumpled, fence posts snapped clean through. When wisteria reaches a tree, it wraps around the trunk in a tightening spiral that strangles and kills it over a period of years. There is a well-known case from the English countryside where a Chinese wisteria grew unchecked for about 15 years. The vine lifted roof tiles, cracked wall rendering, pulled the gutter away from the fascia board, and bent metal brackets like they were wire. The repair cost more than the garden had ever been worth. And the real sting. Wisteria takes 7 to 10 years to produce its first flowers. By the time you get that bloom, the vine is deeply embedded in the structure. Removing it means tearing apart whatever it is growing on. Grow a clematis instead. It blooms faster, and your pergola survives. Number 2. Running bamboo. The lawsuit plant. This is where garden problems become legal problems. That elegant bamboo at the garden center, the kind that makes you picture a zen corner in your backyard, often belongs to the genus Philostachys. Running bamboo. The rhizomes travel 5 meters per year underground, and they are tough enough to crack concrete foundations and buckle asphalt driveways. A bamboo planted in the center of your yard today could be emerging from your neighbor's lawn within 2 years, and that's when the lawyers show up. There are documented court cases in the US, the UK, and Australia, where homeowners have sued neighbors over bamboo that crossed property lines. Cracked retaining walls, lifted paving, compromised drainage systems. Some municipalities have outright banned certain species. Removal is a professional excavation job costing thousands, and even the professionals cannot always guarantee it will not come back. The rhizome network underground is massive and interconnected, and any section left behind will resprout. If you want the bamboo look, plant clumping bamboo instead. Genus Fargesia. It stays in a tight footprint and will not end in a court date. Number 1. Bishop's weed, ground elder. The Roman invasion that never ended. The Romans brought ground elder to Britain nearly 2,000 years ago as a salad green and a medicinal herb. It was useful, edible, and easy to grow. What they did not anticipate is that it would still be there 2 millennia later, still spreading, still impossible to kill. Long after the empire crumbled, the plant stayed. Ground elder threads a dense rhizome network through the top 6 to 12 inches of soil in every direction. Rremoving it without leaving fragments is essentially impossible by hand, and every fragment left behind regenerates into a new plant. The rhizomes are so densely packed and intertwined with the soil that pulling them out completely would mean sifting through every handful of dirt in the entire bed. The variegated variety, the one with pretty white-edged leaves, is still sold at garden centers today as ornamental ground cover. The label says easy to grow. That is true the same way starting a fire is easy. The hard part is everything that comes after. There are gardening forum threads spanning years where the same people post annual updates on their ground elder battle. Year 1, they dig it all out. Year 2, it is back. Year 3, landscape fabric. Year 4, it grows through. Year 5, chemicals. Year 6, it returns from rhizomes the weed killer did not reach. Year 7, they joke about selling the house. And honestly, it is only half a joke. The only reliable removal is excavating all the soil to 12 inches deep and sifting out every last rhizome. Some gardeners have spent over a decade on this fight and still have not won. A plant the Romans considered a convenient salad green has been ruining British gardens for 2,000 years. That is not a weed. That is an inheritance from an empire. So there you have it. 10 plants that will happily destroy your garden if you let them in. They all look appealing at the nursery. They are sold without proper warnings, and every single one is far easier to plant than to remove. Which one shocked you the most? The wisteria crushing pergolas, the bamboo that ends in lawsuits, or the ground elder that has outlasted the Roman Empire? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. If this was helpful, share it with someone about to make a planting mistake they will regret. Subscribe if you have not, and I will see you in the next one.